Standards. Hope your weekend was good. Welcome back to this week's lessons. Today, I have organized for science so that we can continue with the revision that we had began last week. And today we want to deal with from question 22, from question 22 onwards up to where we will finish. I hope you are following up the lessons as I requested last time, and I hope this will benefit you. Don't take it for granted, and stay at home, take precautions, wash your hands, put on masks, and observe social distance. It is also within science. And so welcome to question number 22. Question number 22 says, Standard 6 pupils of Mukina School matched weather instruments with the principles behind their working. Remember, last week we mentioned weather instruments, the name of weather instruments and their functions. And I asked you to note the following weather instruments: the rain gauge, the wind sock, the wind vane, and the thermometer. The rain gauge, the wind sock, the wind vane, and the thermometer. They are the most important weather measuring instruments in class 6 that we need to have learned in class 5. And the others, the anemometer, the barometer, the hygrometer, the sunshine recorder, those ones are not very, very important, but you need to even know them so that if a question comes in the examination, you are able to answer them. So today we are looking at the principles behind their working, There's weather instrument W. It works on the principles of expansion and contraction, The weather instrument X, it works on the principles of air exerts pressure, Y, instrument Y, works on principles that matter occupies space, and Z works on principles that air in motion. These are the principles behind the working of the instruments. And then they have asked, instrument Y is likely to be dash. It works on principles that matter occupies space. Let's begin with instrument W. What is it likely to be? Expansion and contraction. That means matter expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Matter expands on heating and contracts on cooling. That might be a thermometer. Because it measures temperature. Thermometer would be working on principles of matter expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Air exerts pressure. Which instrument works on principle that air exerts pressure? That could be a windsock. That could be a windsock. And then matter occupies space. That could be a rain gauge. I hope I'm right. A rain gauge. Matter occupies space. And then air in motion. Could be a wind vane. I hope you've understood. These are the instruments that were supposed to be here. So the answer here could be rain gauge. Matter occupies space. So the answer here is a rain gauge. Let's come to this chart. There's a chart here of classification of animals. Classification of animals. Before we go to question number 23, which will be very easy after we study this chart, J stands for animals. J stands for animals. Animals are classified into two groups, the vertebrates and the invertebrates. The vertebrates have a backbone. They have a backbone. They have a backbone, sorry. They have a backbone. Invertebrate animals with backbones are called vertebrates. Invertebrates are animals without backbones. Without. Animals without backbone. So divided into two, vertebrates and invertebrates. And then you have fish. Fish is a vertebrate. Then there's K, then there's an amphibian. K can stand for any vertebrates. Remember, we have amphibians, we have fish, we've got mammals, and we have reptiles. Let's look at that. Fish, amphibians. Then you have mammals. A mammal is a vertebrate. We have reptiles also. A reptile is also a vertebrate. A reptile is also a vertebrate. Fish, amphibians, mammals, reptiles. These are vertebrates. Let's come to this place. The vertebrates. Invertebrates. We've got L, we have got mollusks, then we have N. L, mollusks, and N. Now, looking at L, L has two divisions, insects and arachnids. Insects and arachnids. We could say these ones are arthropods. They are arthropods. L is for arthropods. I know that word would be hard for you. Arthropods. L is for arthropods, divided into insects and arachnids. Arachnids. Now, insects have 6 legs, three pairs, and have wings, and then arachnids have 8 legs. Those are 4 pairs. Arachnids have 8 legs, and the spider is among them. We could give an example as the spider. Those are examples of the tick. Those are examples of arachnids. Then we've got mollusks. We've got mollusks, and then we have got and then myriapods. Then you have myriapods. Myriapods are there also. These are terms that are difficult, I know, but you need to understand them. Then we have mollusks here. Now, mollusks here. Let's look at mollusks here. The sea anemone is a mollusk. The sea anemone is a soft-bodied animals. And I do not want us to dwell on these big terms. You will learn them in a higher class, but in this class we only know insects, spiders, millipedes, and centipedes. We only know of we don't have those terms like crustaceans and mollusks in primary, but you need to just have a look at them, and that one will give us the answers here. Now, from this chart here, now we can come to question number 23. K, L, M, and N represent dash. K. K could be a reptile or mammals. Could be reptiles or mammals. Did I even miss one? Birds. Birds could also be here because birds are also vertebrates. I missed one. Birds. Birds could also be vertebrates. So K could be either mammals, reptiles, or birds. Then question, and then L. Where is L? L. L could be arthropods. L is arthropods. L could be arthropods. Then M. M. M could be octopus. M could be octopus. N, I forgot. N could be coelentrates or crustaceans. N could be crustaceans. So the answer could be bird. Let's write them down. Let's look right here. Bird. I say number one could be bird or reptile or mammal. Okay. L. Arthropods. L. Arthropods. L. Arthropods. There is no E. Sorry. L could be arthropods. Then octopus could be in the place of mollusks. Octopus. The soft-bodied. And then N could be crustaceans. That's where you have the crabs. Crustaceans. Crustaceans. That's where you have the crabs. So please be able to follow up that. Sorry, because a mediapod is also a class under there. That's why I wrote. So it could be crustacean, myriapod. Some people call it myriapods, But they could also be. It could also be a possibility. A myriapod could also be a possibility because it's also a class of invertebrate. It could also be a class of invertebrate. So the answer is there. The answer is there, and the answer there is choice C. A koala bear and scorpion are likely to be classified under. Koala bear is a mammal. A scorpion is an arachnid. So where the spider is, we could also have a scorpion. So a scorpion is an arachnid. So they could be classified under, koala bear could be classified under K and O. Under K, that is mammal. That could be a mammal. And O, koala bear is O, it's an arachnid. Not koala bear, scorpion is an arachnid. J represents animals. J represents animals. Which of the following vitamins is not correctly matched? Sorry for that. Is not correctly matched with its use. Boys and girls, I would like us to really understand vitamins so much. Vitamin is a broad nutrient that we need to really understand in details. We need not only to know the use, but also the sources. So vitamin, we start with vitamin A. It's used for vision, health of the skin, bone and teeth growth, and the development of immune system. Uses here, we have said good vision, eyesight. Vision here refers to eyesight. Healthy skin health is used for skin health. It's also used for bone and teeth development. Bone and teeth development, and then to boost the immune system, immunity. Those are the uses of vitamin A. What are their sources? Where do we get them? We need to know where we get the vitamin A. We get them from carrots. Raw carrots. We also get them from sweet potatoes. We get them from sweet potatoes. Get them from spinach. And we get them from kales. Kales are the Sukuma wiki. Spinach kales. Let's come to vitamin B. Vitamin B is so broad. We have B1, B2, B3. We have B12, B6. We have so many vitamin Bs. And let's generally look at B. B1 it gives us energy, metabolism, and nervous function. So B's they give us energy, metabolism, they boost our metabolism, and I'll explain what metabolism. That's where digestion of food takes place. Metabolism, that's a process by which food is digested and then absorbed in the body, and how it works, and that's metabolism. And then it boosts the functioning of the nervous system, used in the nervous system. All right, that's vitamin B and its source. These vitamins, they come from meat, poultry, fish. Okay, meat, poultry, fish, you get them from there. Get them meat, poultry, fish. Vitamin, fish, grains, enriched bread, I know you love it when you talk about bread. Enriched bread, vegetables like mushrooms, that's where you get vitamin B. Let's look at vitamin E. Vitamin E is used as an antioxidant. It's an antioxidant. Antioxidant, that means any anti-acidic reactions in the body, is fought by vitamin E. It is also used as a protective. It protects cells, the cell walls, protects cell walls from wearing out. It's found in plant oil, found in plant oil, plant oil. Plant oil are which oils, like the sunflower oil, all the oils from the plants. Green vegetables, green leafy vegetables, green and leafy vegetables, you can find it there. Wheat germ, liver, egg yolk, and nuts, seeds, whole grains, you'll get the vitamin E. Let's come quickly to vitamin K. Come quickly to vitamin K. Vitamin K, it is used for proper blood clotting, for proper blood clotting, proper blood clotting, clotting of blood. The part of blood cells that help in the clotting of blood are called platelets. Platelets, you learn them in class 7. They are for the proper clotting of blood. What is clotting of blood? When you cut or you injure yourself, the blood begins to come out, either with speed or slowly. That blood, sometimes it reaches a time the blood stops by itself. That stoppage, we call it the blood clotted and not flow anymore. That's blood clotting. Its sources are leafy green vegetables, only that. Leafy green vegetables. Boys and girls, there are so many vitamins. Vitamins are a broad topic that we really have a full learning about vitamins. We are not going into that. I you understand that there is vitamin C and vitamin D. Vitamin C is used to boost the immune system of the body, to increase iron absorption in the body, and its sources are the fruits, the cereals, and the vegetables, citrus fruits. Those are the sources of vitamin C. There's also vitamin D that you get it from the sun and the egg yolk. The sun, the egg yolk, and the liver. Sometimes the fatty fish and milk, you get vitamin D. That's source, and it's used for strong bones. It's a source of calcium for strong bones and teeth. And all those are vitamins. Generally, vitamin A is used for protection and fighting of germs and diseases. Let's go to question number 27. Question number 27. Question number 27, boys and girls. 27 is about methods of grazing. As you can see, I've drawn a beautiful diagram about a certain method of rotational grazing. So they have said, which one of the following is a disadvantage of the following grazing method? A disadvantage of this. We have advantages and disadvantages. But now let's list down some of the methods. We have methods of grazing. These are herding. Herding is a method of grazing. Herding. There's stall feeding. Stall feeding is also a method of grazing. And then there's rotational. Rotational grazing is also a method of grazing. There are three major methods of grazing. Three main methods of grazing. These are herding. Herding is where you take a large number of animals and take them out to graze as you watch over them. That's what the herdsmen do. they drive the animals to the field and they let them feed on the grass by themselves. That is herding. Stall feeding, we also call it zero grazing. We don't take the animal away. The animal is confined in a stall, and that's where they are brought food and water. They don't move anywhere. So there's no movement in stall feeding. Then rotational methods of grazing. You put animals at a certain area for some times, and after that you take them somewhere, and after that you take them somewhere. This is called rotational. That's why it's called rotational. We keep rotating. Now, rotational methods of grazing. Rotational grazing has different other methods. It's done in different ways. One of the ways is called paddocking. Paddocking is this method that I've drawn here. That is paddocking. Then, two, we have strip grazing. Long strips. The land is divided into long strips, yeah, with a movable fence, so that you close a strip and the animals feed on one side of the strip, and then after that you transfer the animals to the next side of the strip, and they feed there as the other part of the strip is growing, the grass sprouts again. Then we've got tethering. Tethering, that's why you use a peg. This is traditional, so much traditional. Just like herding is traditional, this tethering is traditional. You put a peg and you use a rope to tie the animal on the peg, so the animal feeds around the peg. So that peg is called a tether. The peg you tie the animal on is called a tether. So these three are methods of rotational grazing. I want you to be very careful. We have methods, general methods of grazing, the main methods of grazing. Main. These ones are main. These three are main methods of grazing. Boys and girls, these three are main methods of grazing. They are main. There are three. So this herding, it's also traditional. Then there is stall feeding. Then there is rotational grazing. So these three are the main. Now, this rotational grazing alone, rotational grazing on its own is also divided into three, and that is paddocking, grazing, and tethering. In other words, paddocking, strip grazing, and tethering are examples of rotational grazing. These three are examples of rotational grazing. All right, I hope you are understanding. These three are examples of rotational grazing, and please pay attention to this, because these ones confuse with these ones. These ones confuse with these ones. These ones are main, and these ones are examples of rotational grazing. Now let's come to our question. Do they have advantages? Yes, they have advantages. That would take a whole lesson. But let's look at paddocking. And so, boys and girls, let's come to these ones. This one is paddock number 1, paddock number 2, paddock number 3, and paddock number 4. Paddock number 4. These ones are permanent fences. These are permanent fence. Permanent fence. That's a permanent fence. This is a gate. This is a gate. That one is a gate. Gate 1, gate 2, gate 3, and gate 4. So every paddock has its own gate. Every paddock has its own gate. Now, what is this? This one is water trough. Water trough. This is a water trough. And so the water trough, you can see, is shared by the four paddocks. So an animal here can drink water from the same water trough. Okay, that's why it's put centrally. Now, how does this work? The animals are released. They are released in one. Let's say those are animals. They graze here for a period of time, for some time. Let's say some weeks or a month, whatever. It depends on the amount of grass and the number of animals. The period they stay in one paddock depends on the amount of grass and the number of animals. And the farmer will be checking. When the amount of grass reduces in this paddock, the animals are removed from paddock 1 and taken to paddock 2. Now, while they're in paddock 2, they feed in paddock 2. As paddock 1 begins to grow again, the grass in paddock 1 begins to grow again because there's no animal feeding on them. So when they finish in paddock 2, they are taken again to paddock 3. And they stay there again for a certain amount of days and taken to paddock 4. By the moment they finish with paddock 4, the grass in paddock 1 is ready. So the animals are taken back to paddock 1. So they keep rotating from one paddock to another paddock, from another paddock to the other paddock. They rotate that way. And that one, it allows for the grass to grow again. That is in paddocking. What is the disadvantages? Let's now look at the disadvantages. Some of the disadvantages here are it is expensive to begin. It's expensive to start paddocking because it needs permanent fence. This could be a wall fence, permanent wall fence, and that involves a lot of money. Number two, the animals in a paddock, because there are many, one animal can spread a disease or a pest to the other animal. That is a disadvantage. Let's look at the disadvantages given here, boys and girls. Number 27. Fixing permanent fences is expensive. That is true, and I've talked about it. Resting period allows grass to grow. That's an advantage. Ensures constant supply of pasture. That's an advantage. Controls spread of pests and diseases. That's an advantage. So the answer is A. The permanent fence is expensive to fix. So that is an advantage. So all these methods of grazing or rotational grazing, they have advantages and disadvantages, and boys and girls, we will be able to learn them later. Let's go to question 28 and allow me now to write it down. Which one of the following is not a pasture? Now, we have pastures and we have legumes, and you see those ones. So we have setaria grass is a pasture. Star grass is a pasture. Now we need to know this. Guatemala grass is a pasture, but glycine is not a pasture. Glycine is not a pasture. I hope you have understood. Are we together? Now, 29. Some standard 6 pupils from Leakey High School described some animal feeds. So Karanja said animal feeds are feeds stored for use during dry season. Mweni said feeds are not fed directly to animals. Ekwama said feed grazed directly to animals. And Mumia said feeds that contain high quantities of nutrients per unit weight. describing animal feeds. Which pupil describe concentrates? Definitely it is Mumina. Mumina said feeds that contain high quantities of nutrients per unit weight. That is a concentrate. And what is a concentrate, boys and girls? I'll write somewhere. Concentrate. Concentrate are commercial feeds. There, it's an example of commercial feeds. They have particular concentrated nutrients. They are manufactured in factories and sold to farmers. They are manufactured in factories and sold to farmers. So those are concentrates. Every animal, every livestock has its own particular concentrate. I hope you've understood. And question number 30, which of these animal feeds least fits in the group? There's chick mash, there's creep pellets, there's finishing meal, and there's calf pencil. Now looking at the choices, chick mash is for chicks. Chicks are the young ones of chicken. Chicks are young ones of chicken. Creep pellets for young ones. Calf pencil for young ones. But finishing meals are for grown ones. So the answer that least fits in the group are the finishing meals. Boys and girls, that's the end of today's lesson. I hope you understood. I've always urged you to replay it and replay it again and take notes. Yeah? You can go ahead and read some other notes from your books, like in primary science, class 6 primary science. We've got mental science, and here we've got primary science for class 5. For the questions that are coming from class 5, they are still very valid. I wish to end there, and I wish you a good day today. I love you. Thank you.